Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're planning to scale your operations into Europe's largest economy, you already know the rewards are massive. But the barrier to entry? It's basically a regulatory fortress. Today, we're breaking down exactly how UK and international firms can confidently conquer Germany's incredibly strict compliance market and build genuine operational resilience. Let's get into it. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to look at why Germany stands out, the key 2025 compliance drivers, compliance-as-a-service solutions, the XBRL reporting shift, the need for expert advisory, and finally, how to scale confidently. So, we've got to ask ourselves, why exactly does Germany pose such a towering challenge for foreign firms trying to enter? I mean, it's not just a matter of translating your documents into German. The country has this long-standing reputation for absolute legal precision, which honestly makes some other European rulebooks look like light reading. The regulators operate with a level of scrutiny that absolutely catches expanding international firms off guard. It's basically the final boss of European compliance. Section 1, Why Germany Stands Out, and the Dual Regulatory Burden. Now, you might be thinking, hey, we're already EU compliant, so we're good to go, right? Actually, in Germany, that is merely the baseline. You're facing a dual burden. Beyond broad EU directives, you're hit with intense national scrutiny from authorities like BaFin for financial oversight, the FIU for financial intelligence, and incredibly strict data protection authorities. They take those EU directives and apply their own really rigorous localized expectations for governance and transparency. And here is the real kicker. Regulators here are increasingly targeting individual accountability. They apply proportionality and risk-based approaches that place immense, direct pressure on your AML officers, data protection officers, and compliance managers. If there's a failure, the risk isn't just institutional, it falls directly on the executives. Your internal controls literally have to be airtight. Section 2. Key 2025 Compliance Drivers, Navigating DORA, AMLA, and MiFID II. Looking ahead, 2025 is a landmark year. If you're in finance, IT, or manufacturing, understanding these new directives is totally non-negotiable. First, you've got strict ICT risk management and incident reporting under DORA. Second, battling financial crime under AMLA. And third, the expanded obligations of MiFID II. It's a regulatory tsunami. Zooming in on DORA for a second, it's not just about having internal security. It's about rigorously proving it to BaFin. If you're a financial firm or an ICT provider, you absolutely must maintain real-time service inventories, link your risk metrics to those services, and export audit-ready documentation in a highly specific format, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can't just be secure, you have to continuously prove it. Then there's AMLA. If your firm has high-risk clients or third-country exposures, the German FIU's expectations for transaction monitoring have honestly never been higher. They are demanding enhanced Know Your Customer protocols, real-time transaction monitoring, and automated adverse media screening. Missing a red flag here carries massive reputational and financial risks. Section 3. Compliance-as-a-Service Solutions and the all-in-one package. So how do we relieve this massive pressure without completely bloating your internal teams? Well, building a compliance department from scratch in a new country is slow and incredibly expensive. Enter S+'s Compliance-as-a-Service. Instead of juggling a dozen disjointed software tools, you get an integrated BaFin-ready infrastructure. We're talking KYC with digital onboarding, fully outsourced AML and compliance officers, a GDPR-compliant whistleblowing portal, and regulatory audit modules. It's basically an instant, scalable compliance backbone. Section 4. The XBRL reporting shift and automating mandatory disclosures. Okay, we need to talk about a massive operational shift affecting how you report to regulators. What even is XBRL? It stands for Extensible Business Reporting Language. It is the new mandatory language of compliance in Europe, and failing to adopt it means failing your audits. Authorities like BaFin, ESMA, and the EBA are simply no longer accepting static PDFs for reports like FinRep, Solvency II, or those new DORA-related disclosures. The data has to be standardized, machine-readable, and perfect. The difference between traditional reporting and SP's automated XBRL service is night and day. Traditionally, generating these reports is manual and super error-prone, but with SP, it's completely automated. And the real game changer? Validation. Instead of finding out you made a mistake post-submission, it validates pre-submission. It ensures perfect end-to-end traceability for compliance audits, turning a massive headache into a totally streamlined process. Section 5. Beyond Software, Integrating Expert Advisory. Because as we know, technology alone isn't going to satisfy German regulators. You can have the best software in the world, but if your underlying governance strategy is flawed, BaFin is going to notice. Standard SaaS providers just give you software and static policies, but SP's hybrid approach arms you with actual legal insight. It blends the efficiency of tech with the nuanced understanding of expert people. This is where human expertise builds real confidence. Through this advisory, you get tailored onboarding support, mock audits, legal opinions on outsourcing, and strategy reviews. Getting a legal opinion before you actually outsource a compliance function or running through a rigorous mock audit ensures you identify gaps before the real regulators do. It's all about proactive resilience, rather than reactive panic. Section 6. Scale into Germany confidently and secure your competitive edge. I want to highlight this perspective because it hits the nail on the head. Regulatory resilience is becoming a core competitive differentiator. Compliance is no longer just a checkbox. It is your firm's ultimate strategic advantage. When you show clients and regulators that you've mastered DORA, AMLA, and BaFin's frameworks, you build unparalleled trust. And in a market like Germany, trust is everything. To wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. In Europe's toughest market, will your firm struggle against the regulatory current, risking massive executive liability? Or will you partner with experts like S+P Compliance to scale into Germany with absolute confidence, clarity, and control? The fortress can be conquered, but the choice of how you navigate it is entirely yours. Thanks for joining us.